Hey yo, and welcome back to Absolute Intense Wrestling's The Card is Going to Change. My name is Ronald Two Legs, and as always, I am joined by AIW owner John Thorne. What's up, Thorne?
Your name is not persistence and keeping me on a podcast schedule. That is not your name.
I was gonna say I'm in trouble, aren't I?
You're not good at keeping this train on the tracks here.
Yeah, it's on me. I got to take that one. That is on me for sure. But I can't make excuses. We just were not able to podcast. Do you know what is funny too that I meant to tell you that we were just talking for a minute before we hit record. But the thing that I was looking for on Monday to do it on Monday, I literally found right before we started. It was in like the last place I thought it would be that I thought I had checked on Monday, but. Yeah, found the piece I need for the microphone.
Yeah, so Two Legs.
Of course,
Two Legs podcast coordinator, host, and head of the podcasting division of AIW lost his adapter that he thought that somebody stole from him, and then
I didn't think somebody stole it. I just didn't know what the hell. I thought my kid, because it happened. He does these things where he calls them pranks. He'll take something and move it, and then when you ask where it is, he laughs and goes and gets it.
That's accurate. That is a prank. That's an accurate description.
Yeah, my kid is in the prank phase right now, so he's been doing that with stuff. He'll take it, and then, he just was he was not around on Monday to ask him on Monday. Hey, am I being pranked? Where is this? But no, it was actually me. I pranked myself. I must have brought it to the show and had it in the one bag that I bring with me. But that bag I thought was empty and was at the bottom of a laundry basket. So when I went to move something today and the bag fell out of it, I just happened to look in there and I go, oh shit, there's the adapter right there. Of course, right after I purchased a 2-pack on Amazon to get here, overnight to make sure.
Well, now we can podcast in 3 different locations, I suppose.
Yeah, I got backups on backups for sure.
Yeah, so, we're not very good at keeping this podcast on schedule for our loyal 400 listeners or so that are out there at this point.
I'm sorry, everyone.
But, hey, we're not overwhelming you with useless content, I suppose. We are gonna hopefully get back in the saddle, back in the game. I did get some more behind the curtains up on the YouTube membership. Mm-hmm. I worked on some of those over the weekend. Just trying to do a lot of stuff. Started doing the AIW mixtape on the social media stuff on Thursday.
Thursday night.
So trying to get trying to get more content out there. See if we can continue to grow this fan base and engage them. It's tough. You know what I mean? I feel like wrestling is in a weird space. We do fairly well almost all the time, and that J-Lit again. The J-Lit curse hit us again, and it was a pretty bad day, pretty bad Saturday for AIW and our financials. So you just never know how things are going to go. And did we run out of steam? I hope not, but we're trying to find ways to engage people and keep people filling the seats, so to speak. But yeah, I gotta say, J-Lit was a real tough day at the office. So I could probably understand why you didn't want to podcast after that one.
I mean, that has unfortunately sort of been the trend with the tournament, and I think we've all discussed it, at least internally, how tough it's been over the last handful of years with how wrestling has changed and to do a tournament like that. And I mean, we've even changed it. We evolved the format. We changed it up and tried, we've been trying everything we can to kind of keep it, fresh and also just kind of good for the fans, money wise, time wise, and all that stuff. But I just think it's tough. I think a singles tournament is tough. I mean, you definitely saw, session 2, session 2, much more attended, very, a big show. I mean, they were both great shows, but I think it's tough to do, back-to-backs like that. I think
from a wrestling standpoint, it might have been the best one that we ever did. I think everything was, over-delivered and really the expectations were, totally exceeded. But, and the night show did do better than the day show. But, it was, man, that was an expensive day. I'll say that, there were a lot of out-of-town, high-profile talents booked. And, it's just one of those things. It's just like, what do people want? Like, do you want us to focus more on our, homegrown crew? Do you want these, super talented, indie wrestlers? Do you want these former WWE people? That show had everything and like nothing really worked. You know what I mean? So like, it's just like, you just don't know in what direction to go in, you know what I mean? Because it's just like we tried to check all the boxes there, and it's just, I don't know, like there's, I don't know if it's the fall, I don't know if it's the tournament, I don't know if it's just people weren't interested in seeing wrestler X, or they wanted to see more of wrestler B. It's really hard to focus. Or is it just too hard to market 2 shows in one day? Is it too hard to market 2 shows in a weekend? You know what I mean? To this,
I think it's partially both of those things. I think it's too hard to market the 2 shows in one day thing anymore, with just how much things there are going on in Cleveland at any given time, or how many things people have to do, or this or that, the other. I just think people's attention spans too might have something to do with it. But I mean, because that's the thing. If you looked at the tournament on paper, as you said, it was easily one of, if not the best J-Lit we've ever done. I mean, the talent that we had, I will say too, part of what you were saying is it was a mix of everything. We did have homegrown guys. We did have ex-WWE guys. We did have, big-time indie name guys. So that was what was so perplexing about the session 1 being as sparsely attended as it was, because it's like, man, this has got everything. And there were some crazy one-on-one matchups too, you know what I mean? First-round matchups that were in that tournament that were, it was just,
right. I don't know, like, and it's just like the whole landscape of wrestling seems odd, you know what I mean? Like, everyone will tell you that it's as hot as it's ever been, and it does feel like that, kind of, but like, I see a lot of independent promoters like making this argument, and it's just like, WWE's pricing is this, so you can come to this independent show for the next 6 months for that, and it's just like, dude, like, Jey Uso ain't gonna be there, you know what I mean? Like, that argument does not make any sense, you know what I mean? Like, I get it, like,
right,
in the theory of it, like what people are trying to do, but like, you can't make that's not like, you're not like gonna trick a kid that like John Cena is gonna be at the Roxy, you know what I mean? Like, so like, I don't think it's that either, like, I don't think that is like a proper like marketing ploy, like, but I see everybody doing it, and I don't think that's gonna work, like, we do try to make it affordable. We have like adjusted pricing and trended some pricing down and things like that, but I assure you the wrestlers haven't trended their pricing down, so like,
no.
Yeah, but like that's
going the opposite.
Yeah, it's crazy. But like, I don't know, like, I don't know. Is it just like people are just like, fuck everything else, I'm just going to WWE? Like,
yeah. Speaking of which, the uptrend in prices and stuff. Let me ask you this: Thorne recently put in in our group message that a wrestler X had contacted him in, what was it, 2019, when we were at WrestleMania in New Jersey. Hey, I'll do a show, blah blah. What do you think that wrestler's price was back then compared to right now? I would be so curious what that was, what change was.
Right now, it's probably unobtainable.
Unobtainable. And this person isn't even we're not talking about like Roman Reigns or some fucking name on that's like a WWE legend right now. It's nothing, not even anyone super crazy. Anything like but I bet you that price tag is much different than when they wanted to come in 2018, or what was it, 2018 or 2019?
2019, I think.
19.
I mean, it's just it's the game's crazy right now, so it's just like we're trying to figure it out, and we're trying to maneuver it. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I hope that it was as simple as we were saying, it's just too hard to market these two shows, and that's why the night show did better, or something like that. But do we just zero in our focus on, okay, we've gone from 24, we've reduced to 16. Now does it get reduced to one night of 8? You know what I mean? And you just hyper focus on that. I don't know, but
I know we're not doing a round table on it now, but I've always liked the idea that's been thrown around of having some of the qualifying matches in the shows leading up to that, and then have a one-day session, whatever the semifinal
that's something
match.
that was,
I like that idea.
Certainly discussed heavily, after the show as well. So, doing like qualifying matches throughout whatever time,
Would you say, sound off on it, I suppose? Because, you want to do, what fans what they think as well. Obviously not going to, do everything they say, or what, take into consideration at least. But, if you have, a preference one way or the other, I'm sure Thorne would like to hear it.
Yeah, I guess it's just like, would you be more engaged with it if it was just like the roster? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like hyper focused on the roster. Because the one tricky thing is, if you do these qualifiers, how do you bring in these names or one night only people? So because I think that's what makes it fun and unique. But I don't know. Maybe I'm obviously wrong, because it's not it's not selling. So yeah, I don't know. That's just where we're at. But I'm trying to get organized for the rest of the year, for 2026. But I just feel like we're in a weird spot. Is wrestling still red hot? Is wrestling coming down? You could just kind of I don't know, even when you go, when you look at social media, how much independent wrestling are people really clamoring for right now? I don't know. It feels like it's an odd time. I feel like you have to kind of build up your little universe, which is what AIW's been trying to do forever, and just catering to our fans. I think that is the way to go, but I think it makes it maybe less exciting on a national level. It's tough, but I just feel like wrestling's kind of in a weird spot. But I'm hopeful that we can continue to fill buildings and, put out a good product. It's weird that, that tightrope walk of wanting to stand out and be in the conversation, but also wanting to just, fill buildings, sell tickets, and create a fun atmosphere. It's a tough balance.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I would say going forward, this show does have a few of those things going for it. We're going to be back at Penguin City. We're going to be in the brewery. You know, we're going to have those vibes going. I feel like, again, this card that we have for Death of Seasons this Saturday, Penguin City, Youngstown, the card, again, on paper is out of control. I mean, if you look at some of these matches, like, I don't want to get away from J-Lit if you still want to talk some more about it, but it's just making me think,
transition
how... Yeah, I mean, again, look at this card, and I mean, like you said, with the vibes, man. I'm excited to get back to Penguin City. We have a lot of fun when we were there. We were partying last time with Mosh and Thrasher, headbangers and stuff. Class is in school is in session this time, so I think from what you said, we have a great pre-sale already going. So I mean, all the premium seating is sold, correct? It's standing room only now at this point.
Yeah. What I will say is we're still a little below that first Penguin City show, but, we have days to go, obviously, so I'm hopeful that we can catch up to that. I do want this to be the biggest one because I do feel like we learned a lesson from doing the event, on a nice sunny day in June as opposed to, coming back in October. I think we're going to see, a little bit of a difference. School's back in session. Really, platforming some, the local talents from Youngstown. The Bev's coming back. Just signed the Dareable Dog will be returning on Saturday to in-ring action.
Yes, let's go.
Not necessarily local anymore, but at one point was fighting crime in the area. So I think he knows some people.
Fired up that dog signal, dude. Shined it into the air.
It came out of nowhere. The dog was had a contract signed, no joke, to be gone for the next 6 to 8 months, and said he was not going to be available, and the start date of his contract was pushed back, and he literally messaged me on Sunday, I think, and asked if the opportunity was still there, and I said, well, if the show's full, but I'll figure something out for the dog if the dog's coming back. So Dareable Dog will be returning to action on Saturday as well. So we're trying to give these shows a fun, unique vibe. You see more of an emphasis obviously on the people from the area. At least we're only going 2-3 times a year. And kind of, it allows you to create some interesting matchups and, do some different things as far as, the lineups are concerned. But again, it's a fun time. And we are going to go to the Federal officially for the official after party, which is, 5 minutes away, if that,
If you go the right way the first time.
That's true, yeah. But yeah, we're going to go to the Federal for the after party. It's their last night open, and then they close to do a big, they do a big Christmas thing every year starting in November. So they got to they turned it into a Christmas bar. So,
whoa, really?
Yeah, which you got to book.
That's cool.
You got to book reservations that sell out. They're already selling them, and they've sold out. I think the whole month of November already.
That's sick.
It's like a huge deal called the Miracle on Federal Street. So
Dude.
This Saturday is going to be their last night open before they start doing, getting things ready for the transformation into Christmas. And then they go, 2 straight months, reservation only. So we're going to hopefully give them a very busy and fun final night of being open this Saturday for the official after party.
That place was a lot of fun. I don't know if it was the the Uncle Guido effect. If you just go anywhere with Uncle Guido, it's obviously a lot of fun. But that place, I had a blast.
Yeah, it's a cool place.
That place was a lot of fun.
It's a cool place for sure.
Great vibe in there. Speaking of, local talents and that type of stuff, big time return to the Youngstown area for a Youngstown talent. One Chase Oliver making his return to the ring after, what did he say in that promo video? How many months? Something? What did he say? 28 months or something?
I think it's been over 2 years.
My goodness. So, yeah, Chase will be in action. We'll get, obviously get more into it when we break down each matches of that. But who else? Is TKD?
TKD.
Tommy Rain, is he?
Tommy Rain will be wrestling Isaiah Broner for the Intense title.
That's a Youngstown.
Zoe Sky will be on the card. Yeah, absolutely.
Hell
the Bev returning to AIW, also Youngstown based. So lots.
Yeah,
of,
that's big. Bev has not been in. When was the last time he was in an AIW ring?
It's been a while.
2018, maybe 2019, maybe.
Probably 2020. I don't. Maybe 2020. I can't.
You got Swoggle on the card. He pretty much claims he's from anywhere, wherever we're at. I'm sure he'll claim he's Youngstown's favorite son. I'm sure. You know what I mean? Swogs. He'll be feeling it. I can't wait. But yeah, I mean, on paper, this card is, we got a debut, AIW debut. If you want to get in these matches, we got Lycos Gym taking on PME. Tell me a little bit more about these. Progress
World Tag Team champions currently touring America. Gonna put the belts up on the line against PME. Obviously, one of the best tag teams in the UK right now. PME, recently lost the AIW Tag Team titles, so this is allowing them to get a shot at those Progress Tag Team Championships. So it's, I think these guys are extremely, extremely talented. If you've never seen Lycos Gym, you're going to want to come out Saturday and see them. It's not a team that you're going to be able to see, probably ever in this area, honestly. It's a super rare opportunity to see Lycos Gym, see those Progress Tag Team titles be defended, and it's happening, this Saturday in Youngstown.
That's sick. Excited for PME to get to take on the chance. They may have lost AIW gold, but they got their sights set on some other gold, eh? So that's pretty sick. Moving forward in the card, as you said, Youngstown's own Zoe Sky back in action in AIW, this time against returning Nat Castle. We saw her at Wrestle Rager. Now we're seeing her in a brewery, Penguin City Brewing.
She was arguably Rookie of the Year at Wrestle Rager.
Yeah, that was quite a match she had. Quite a debut.
I'm not even talking about the match. I'm just talking about the day. The day she had. She took in the whole Wrestle Rager experience.
Yes, indeed. That's going to be a great match to see both of them back in AIW.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's, big test for Nat Castle. Obviously, Zoe Sky is, looking to, reestablish herself in AIW. She came up on the losing end against Katie Arquette last time when we were in Youngstown. So she's certainly, looking to, prove that she's still one of the best female wrestlers on the planet right now. Former AIW Women's Champion, and Nat Castle is very has achieved some accolades in her short career. She's current Cap Wrestling Women's Champion. She's hitting the road, making a name for herself. So I think both of these women are really looking to make a statement on Saturday, and this is for women's wrestling fans, there are 2 women's matches this Saturday, so you have no excuse to miss this show.
That is actually exactly what I was just going to say. After this match, I was going to say to keep it in the women's division, moving forward, we got Priscilla Keller returning, taking on Jocelyn Navarro. Double women's match, like you said. We get people clamoring for women's matches all the time. You got 2 in one show here, and 2 big-time matchups, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Jocelyn Navarro, Priscilla Kelly are going to do, their first singles match. They've been involved in an altercation, a three-way. They've never had a singles match in AIW. So I'm very much looking forward to this. Priscilla Kelly coming back is a huge deal. She always goes above and beyond when she's at AIW. And I expect Saturday to be no different. It's, we haven't seen her since Absolution. This is probably her first time ever in the Youngstown area, if I had to guess. Again, like if you're in the area within driving distance of Penguin City, this is a jam-packed lineup. You're not going to see anything like this in the area really ever. this is, arguably one of our most stacked lineups of the year. I would say, when I'm looking at it on paper right now, it is a pretty fucking bonkers lineup.
Absolutely. I mean, as you were saying, to have two women's matches on the card, and both of them big time matches. This one, like you said, PK has been operating at a high level on the indies since she's been back. No cruise control whatsoever. And Joss, like as we say, the gold standard here in AIW. So very excited for that match and see what them two do. It's gonna be a great day. I'm excited. Moving forward in the card, we've talked about this one already with the return of a wrestler who hasn't been in AIW in quite some time, but we got the Bev taking on the Bone Collector, Dom Guarini. I am big time jazzed for this match.
Yeah, I mean, Dom is continuing this weird path of getting in there with deathmatch legends. Him and Bondo, may be one of my favorite matches of the entire year, honestly.
It was so good.
It was awesome. But I mean, there was a lot of shuffling around of this lineup, and every time I moved it around, Dom would not have an opponent, and I started, the wheels started turning, and I said, well, who lives in the Youngstown area? It's the Bev, and I just kept coming back to it, and finally, we just pulled the trigger, and we got a deal done.
You love to hear it, it's certainly an exciting match. Like I said, I posted the match graphic on Instagram. I said no words even needed for this one. I feel like we've already said too much. For God only knows what these two ghouls are going to get into on Saturday. Moving forward in the card, we have Big Sam Holloway taking on Alec Price. That is a match. We saw they were in a 4-way together. Was that in the term? Why do I feel like they were in something together? Like a 4-way or something like that. Like they've mixed it up a little bit, but
they've had. I'm pretty sure they had a singles in Akron at some point.
Okay,
but it's been a couple years, or at least several months since that's happened. They've certainly been in matches together as well, multi-person matches as well. Mm-hmm. But I think both of them are kind of, continuing to raise their level and up their game. And I think it's you can't even say it's a test for either of them. I don't know how to explain it. It's more of just like they want to prove themselves against each other, if that makes sense. Like they don't want to. It's not some big test for them, but I think they really just want to get in there and prove to each other who the best is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean it's like when you get in there, like you said, they want to prove themselves against somebody they know is a good opponent, and they've had these other matches, they've had these other altercations in the ring, so they know each other can bring it. It's like you want iron sharpens iron type deal. You want to keep getting in there with guys that are going to make you better, and these two could get in there 100 times, and it's going to be a good time every time. So I'm excited, man. Like I said, I think Alec Price fits this crowd too. The Youngstown crowd. I think he's gonna fit in well there, and Big Sam fits in wherever he goes. He's beloved everywhere. I think people love Big Sam. So these two going head to head is a great match in my opinion. This card is out of control. Like I said, every match we go to is just like they're great matches.
Yeah, I think this is certainly a match that they want to steal the show from everybody else. Period.
Yeah.
They want to raise the bar every time they're on a show, and if they're in there together, they want to they want to set the standard.
Yeah.
Sam has you can say whatever you want about the WWE ID program, but Sam has taken it as he's found like a new sort of hunger, so to speak, of wanting to just wanting to be the best. Like he really wants to excel, which is, not saying that before he didn't, but he just has a kind of a different swagger and attitude about it, to where, you know, you could tell he's taking things a lot more seriously than, you know, maybe he even realized he wasn't taking them as seriously before. He just seems so locked in right now, and Alec Bryce is always locked in.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say. Sam, I don't know if it, you know, different or whatever, a change, but he definitely seems on show days, I guess, he's a little different than he was. Not that he wasn't, like, because that's what I mean. I don't want to say it as a slight as he was before, like he wasn't taking it serious. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying. He's definitely just comes locked in, ready to go. And that's what I meant, what you said, what they could be a show stealer. These two, every show want to have a show, like, you know, the show stealer, the best match of the night. And then them getting in with each other, they know, I got somebody we could do something good with. So that's why I'm really excited for this match. This one's going to be good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm really much looking forward to it. I knew that we've done it before in AIW, but Sam particularly has gotten so much better. I think this is, you know, the potential for this match is just like, you can't even put a number on it. Like, I think that these guys are going to go fucking all out.
Yeah, I'm jazzed. Going forward in the match, in the card, we have a 4-way. We got Wes Barkley taking on Black Machismo, taking on Shelby Wilder, taking on Mikey Montgomery. This match, last time we had Jay Lethal, we had regular Jay Lethal. This time we're getting Black Machismo.
Yeah, very excited about this. We almost did it the last time Jay Lethal was here. You know, we toyed with it. And then, you know, this time I thought, especially with it being October, you know, close to Halloween, all that stuff, just a little bit more fun having Black Machismo make his official AIW debut.
It's crazy because, like, and I don't know how to say this. I hope this doesn't come off like rude or the wrong way, but you almost like forget how famous Jay Lethal is. I was having a conversation with someone, and it got brought up, the clip of when he's doing the woo with him and Flair, and they're doing the back and forth in TNA, and like how famous and how big of a name he is, and just, you know, whatever has been in wrestling, that like even like normie people know who Jay Lethal is and like know of him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't mean any disrespect by that. Do you know what I mean though? Like, because he's just such a nice guy, and like, I don't know. Like he doesn't come off like a prick or nothing. Like he's like
he's a gigantic star, you know, but you just don't realize it. You know, like when I realized it was at one of the AEW shows in Cleveland, like he did like a dark match or something, and like, he got such a gigantic pop. Like, I was just like,
everyone knows
fuck.
him. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody knows Jay Lethal. Just because, you know, like you're saying, probably all those viral videos and different things that have happened throughout the course of his career. Very excited about this, you know, especially, you know, getting three different guys being able to get in there and mix it up with them. I think it's going to be fucking awesome.
I'm stoked. Wes is a guy I love seeing. I think he learns so much from every match he has with, especially some of these guys, you know, the bigger name guys that he has. And I think he's come so far in even the last 2 years even. I think Wes is great. I'm excited for that. But you got a guy like Shelby who's really been coming up and finding his own, and getting it in with some of these bigger name guys and really kind of finding, you know, their place in wrestling, has been doing a lot of great stuff. And Mikey Montgomery, another guy who has just really been killing it lately, and putting out great matches. So these four together in one match is a fucking barn burner.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we didn't get into it, but, you know, Wes Barkley, totally locked in, winner of the J-Lit tournament. Seems, you know, like a lot of what I said about Sam, you know, Wes seems to have found that gear or something. You know, something has clicked in his brain over the last, you know, 6 months to a year, to where he has really just, you know, engaged himself in the process of trying to improve. And just seems hungrier than ever to try to figure this wrestling thing out and make it. You know, he is a guy that is at the wrestling school every single session, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. He started teaching his own class at the academy now on Monday nights. He just seems super locked in right now. as well as, cheap plug. He's doing a vlog every single day. Did you see that?
Married to the Game. Yeah, I was going to bring it up. I was actually talking to him about it. It's been great. I've been checking it out on YouTube. He's been very disciplined in that. He's been doing it every day. It's good. It's good. If you like Wes, it's good content. He's just giving you a shot at his life, a look at, what he does day in and day out. And yeah, I mean, the guy's really locked in. We've said it a few times about a few wrestlers in the podcast so far, but Wes is definitely locked in. Married to the Game. Check him out on YouTube.
Every single day he's doing a vlog. That's fucking mentally insane to do to commit yourself to doing a vlog every single day. He did one with Sir Yacht. Did you see that? He did one with Sir Yacht. He had coffee with Sir Yacht. Yeah, that's one of his vlogs.
Yeah. Yeah, that dude's wild, man. Yeah, that's his buddy. He knows that dude. That's his homeboy. He's known that dude since before them were both famous. Now look at them, both huge stars.
Well, I mean, Wes is hoping to be a huge star. I don't know if he's there yet.
Hey, one of them's on TV all the time, and it ain't Sir Yacht, all right? I mean, I guess he is when they put him on the Browns games because he dresses like Waldo, but I like that guy. No shade. Moving forward in the card, we talked about... Okay, so we do have a title match. We did talk about it earlier. We have the Intense title holder, Isaiah Broner, with Josh Prohibition, taking on Youngstown native Tommy Rain.
Tommy picked up a W at the J-Lit during the Freeview. Is a guy that has, it's kind of the theme of the podcast, talking about guys that are, getting re-engaged with the process and, really dedicating. Tom has been coming back to the academy as often as he possibly can. He is a world traveler with his job, but whenever he gets time off and there's a training session, he's up there at the school trying to improve, get better, and looking for opportunity. That's how he wound up on the J-Lit at the Freeview. He pitched. He said, hey, I can contribute to the show. I can contribute to trying to get people through these doors. All I'm looking for is an opportunity. And, he was given one. He picked up a win. And, now we're returning to his hometown, with a win under his belt. And he's getting a title shot this Saturday. Now, do I necessarily think this is a great opportunity for him? I don't know. That's, that could be debated. Stranger things have happened in the world of wrestling. And Tom is no slouch as far as it, defending himself and, having a martial arts background. But, this has got to be the tallest task of his career, I would think.
He's going to have some people in his corner. I'll tell him that because he definitely had some people in his corner for Jayla, as you said. He had some people to come out and were supporting him. He picked up that W. So I would not be shocked if he had a good amount of, support here in his hometown of Youngstown. But, yeah, it is a tall order with the problem here of Isaiah Broner because that man is on a path right now. I think he's got the guidance of Josh Prohibition, a guy who's been in this business for a long time and knows a lot and is telling him the things that he needs to hear and what he
that is an X factor that I don't think we discuss enough because we don't podcast enough because you never can remind me that we have to podcast. But,
I'm the worst, I know.
But just that sense of probably reassurance that Isaiah Broner has needed. His whole career, he's always had the tools. He's always been in the mix. He's always been a guy. But now he's got a 20-plus year veteran telling him all the right things and giving him that sense of reassurance. Like that is sometimes that is just all somebody needs to climb up that next rung on the ladder. And I think that this is such a beneficial kind of, just extra ingredient for his path to, greater things in this business. I think this is just, you can dislike them as a group, but I think just the sheer just experience level and just getting that reassurance is just you can't put you can't put a number on it or a just a percentage of impact of what it's doing, because I think it is limitless on what this can do for Isaiah Broner going forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally it's Isaiah's been telling himself these things for a long time. He's heard some other people say it. He's been telling himself he's the man. He's putting in this work. He knows what he does. He knows he's in the gym. If you follow him on Instagram, you know the guy's constantly working. He's putting in the work. Imagine telling yourself these things in the mirror. You're the man. This, that, and then now you've got a guy, like you said, of 20 years of Josh Prohibition. You're not telling them to yourself anymore. This guy's telling them to you. I mean, that's, like you said, that's just got to be confidence and motivation and just kind of, the ammunition that Broner's going to need to just rip a hole in the whole AIW. I mean, the guy, he's going on a rampage. So I like Tom. I like he's a nice guy. He comes to shows, he helps out. Like you said, he's been training, but it's going to be a tall order on Saturday. I hope he has a lot of support, because he is going to need it.
Yeah, I mean, momentum is a strange thing. We've talked about it before. It can impact sports games. It can impact a lot of way. A lot of things. Momentum is crazy. Tommy Rain, I think, is going to need a lot of it, though. And I'm not trying to even downplay that, but this is an uphill battle, no doubt, for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a cliche thing to say, but we keep it pretty real on this podcast, and I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat a lot of things. So, but a couple more matches going forward. A match I'm extremely excited for. A returning face that we used to see all the time, and went and got a big old bag of money, and now we only get to see him a little bit. And I'm talking about Danhausen. Danhausen taking on Swoggle. You thought I was going to say Swoggle, didn't you?
Yeah, it's we've done this before, but it's
I could watch this 100 times.
I think we did this at Hey Yo, which is the last show before the world ended.
Yep. Scott Hall, Akron.
So I mean, like so much has happened in the world. Like you got to bring it back and you got to do it again.
They're both so good. Like I said, I could watch this 100 times.
You want to talk about you want to talk about Jaylit? I mean, the lengths at which Swoggle went at Jaylit this year.
Oh yeah.
You could tell that. I know that's the theme of the podcast, but you could tell. He is also just feels comfortable and re-engaged with wrestling again. There was probably some times where he was not. And
yeah, I mean, he thought he was going to be out. I mean, speaking of health wise and stuff like that, I mean, he took his boots off in an AIW ring, thought he was going to be done.
Right. He has gotten himself in great shape. He's lost a ton of weight. I don't know if it's that he's been invited back into that WWE family with the Legends deal, but it has just motivated him. And when he showed up at Jaylit with that fucking horse,
oh man, it was so good.
Little inside baseball, he bought a horse costume for me too, and I said, fuck no, I am not wearing that.
I tried, everyone. I said it so many times during the day. Still time to put the horse on, Thorne. I tried, everyone.
I said, Swoggle, there's fucking we got 47 tickets pre-sold today. I'm not fucking putting a horse costume on.
You were in no mood for shenanigans by any means, but my God, how freaking good was it when he came around that corner?
If they had, maybe if there's 400 pre-sold, maybe I'd have been like, maybe. I still
think
probably
you
wouldn't have did
something to that effect. Yeah, you said something to the effect of if this was more attended, then maybe we would have got Cowboy Thorne.
He was like, "Oh, they're gonna go crazy for you." I said, "Swoggle's gonna be nobody in the crowd that even knows who I am."
I said, I would disagree with that, but
I said, I am feeling low enough. I don't need to waltz out in front of a crowd of people in a horse costume.
But yeah, I mean, he was so great. He was great that time. He was so nice. Remember, he
What do they
gave
call
me
it?
those
Like,
Reese Oreos.
what do they call it? A fucking like a Hollywood embarrassment ritual or whatever. What do they call it? Like
Yeah, that's it. I think.
Something like that. They're like, oh, this. I was like, I'm not fucking. There's like a term for it, but it's like some sort of ritual. I was like, I'm not fucking doing this. It's like I'm fucking
so good.
embarrassed enough of the amount of tickets sold for today. I don't need to put a horse costume on and then walk out there and have more people laugh at me.
He was great, man. No, you should have. It would have been great. No, I don't think that would have been a classic case of they're not laughing at you, they're laughing with you, because we would have been laughing. You'd have been laughing.
Yeah, you would have been all laughing at me.
No, come on. Oh man, but yeah, that's a match I can't wait for. That one we're running back, and then I would think this is going to be our main event of the night. We have a Youngstown street fight. We got the Slugger Austin James, Tyler Jordan, the Duke, and Eric Taylor taking on Youngstown's own Chase Oliver, Youngstown's own Jeff Steele, the Steel City. Joey Vincent Martini, Youngstown's own, and our absolute champion Chuck Stone. So 3 out of the 4 in this one are Youngstown natives on one side of the ring.
Yeah, I mean, what else? What else? What else can you do? You know what I mean? Like that is a fucking main event team. Like you want to talk about momentum? Yeah. Like goddamn, like. If they don't have momentum, I don't know who will.
Yeah, I mean, that place is going to be rocking for that main event for sure. I can't wait. I believe Joey Vincent Martini got the dub last time we were in Penguin City, right? And if I'm incorrect, then
him and Guido were teaming up.
Yeah, they got the dub. I'm almost positive. So, I mean, he's got some momentum coming into it. Chase,
they wrestled High Seas, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I like those guys. I mean, you got Chase coming back after being gone for however long. That's, he's got all the motivation he needs. Jeff Steele been having some good matches in AIW, a chance to prove himself in front of his Youngstown, natives. We've been in Youngstown. He had a match there before, but that was pretty early on in his career. He's had a handful of matches since then. It'd be nice to, come back and show the people, of his city what he's, learned and what he's gotten better. What's the word I'm looking for? Not upgrade, but
improved.
He's improved. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, he's improved much.
He's upgraded his skills.
Yeah, I couldn't friggin' think of the word improved. But that was when last time we were in Youngstown. That was the first Youngstown show, I believe, right? So I mean, that was pretty early into his debut.
Yeah, he still has not had many matches at all. We keep circling back to Jalip, but how about him and Mad Dog Conley forming an unlikely team?
Yeah, that was great. Unlikely team, but fit and worked very well together. I thought that was
another great Swaggle, Jalip situation.
Dude, Swaggle, it was so funny when they pulled out the phone. Everyone goes, "Why does he have his phone on him?" He takes a picture of his feet. Swaggle was too good, man. I can't say enough good stuff about Swaggle, man. That was great. But that's the card.
Big pressure though for Jeff Steele. I would imagine this is his first main event of his career.
Sure.
Obviously, the other team is a lot more experienced. Did you even mention the other team?
Yeah, the Slugger, Tyler, Duke, and Eric Taylor. Yeah, look at that. I mean, Duke and Eric Taylor alone, plenty of main events in there. So I mean, yeah, they're definitely at a bit of a disadvantage, per se. But I think, like you said, I think the momentum of being the hometown guys, I think they can use that, and it's a Youngstown street fight. So I would assume that's kind of an anything goes type situation, within reason, I guess, under the discretion of probably senior referee Jay Clemens, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of room around that brewery to wander around and beat the piss out of each other. That's for sure.
I knew that you mentioned the team. I just didn't want the Duke to be upset that he wasn't talked about more on the podcast when he listened.
I always love bringing up the Duke. Like I said, a guy's got a lot of experience in this business. He's experienced in matches like this, like a kind of no holds barred, kind of anything goes type deal. You know, with the Youngstown street fight, he was in the Akron street fight. He's been in many a Wrestle Rager, you know, main event street fight type situations. So yeah, I mean, the Duke no stranger to these situations for sure, and that guy's always got something up his sleeve. So him and Eric together are dangerous, that's for sure.
He's a sensitive,
got a guy like,
he's a sensitive guy, so I just don't want him to get sad when he listens to the podcast.
Love the Duke. But a guy like AJ, too, has been having some good matches, proving himself. Tyler, you know, was doing some tag team stuff for a while, but really kind of shining as a singles performer. These four are going to be a team to be reckoned with for sure. This is going to be a hell of a street fight. I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think it's going to be fun. You know what I mean? Like this whole lineup, and the venue, location, after party. I think it's going to be a really fun day. You know, we talked about it before, but you know, if you're traveling from Cleveland, there's a DoubleTree. I don't know what the price is. I haven't looked, but there's a DoubleTree like a mile away from the venue.
Nice place too. We stayed there last time. It was super nice, man. They had those cookies. Remember, we used to set me down there like 2 in the morning. Like, let's go get those cookies.
Yeah.
I came back with like 10.
Yeah, you were supposed to get a free cookie with a check-in. They gypped us on that.
She hands me 2, right? And I look at her, I go, oh yeah, we're staying in the suite. There's like 10 of us in there. And she just pulls out the tray and just hands me the tray and goes, just take them. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fun time. You know, it's fun.
There's some other hotels too right by the highway. You know, if the DoubleTree isn't your style, you want looking for something a little cheaper or whatever. There's a few options for sure. But great area for sure. I mean, check it out. Penguin City Brewery itself is a super, super, super fun place. We've talked about this before. They pull food trucks in there and stuff. They got a crap ton of pinball machines. Trombetta looking at you. They got video games and stuff in there. They got cornhole boards. There's a big open area, you know, in the front portion of the bar where the taps are, and the big bar is in there. So, I mean, you can go early, get some food, kind of hang out, have some beverages, man. Penguin City is a super, super cool place.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome. Like, it's, you know, it's just like proof of like what you can do in an area with, you know, repurposing some of those old buildings. You know, like I think Globe Iron is a good example of that too. Like, you know, taking this old building and repurposing it and making something super cool out of it. You know, that's the same thing Penguin City's done. I wish, you know, something like that would exist in downtown Akron. They have all kinds of just old buildings down there that need to be repurposed, but Penguin City is like doing it right. Like that place is super nice inside. It's super big. There's so much stuff to do in there, you know, and then when they don't have wrestling, they're getting bands. They're doing fucking DJ nights for the college kids. They're doing all kinds of cool stuff in that place. It's awesome, awesome place. Good beer. I like that light Penguin Light.
That's the one I was drinking last time.
Yeah, we had a few of those last time, just a couple. But yeah, it's like it's an awesome time. You know, and hopefully we can, you know, sell the rest of these GA tickets and have an impressive showing and get some more dates to go back there in 2026, because I think, you know, it has great potential, and you know, I really want to, you know, dedicate, you know, AIW to, you know, bringing good wrestling to that area. You know, as long as the shows draw, you know, I'm really, you know, focused on making this a few times a year stop on our calendar year.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great destination spot in my opinion. Like we talked about before, the venue is right there. Right down the street, not even really down the street, it's kind of across the street, is like a beer store / liquor store. And then right there across the street is the hotel. You can make a little triangle in the day and that evening and just be set and not have to go anywhere and just have yourself a nice little Saturday evening. That's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt at all. I'm very excited about it.
And then after the show, like we said, we're heading over to, what is it called again?
The Federal.
Federal. That's it. I was going to call it the Liberty. The Federal. The Federal for the after party. Like you said, they're going to be shutting down for their Christmas party. So let's get in there. Let's give them a good send off. Have a great time. That place was a lot of fun last time.
Once featured on Bar Rescue. Did you know that?
Yeah. We were talking about that last time. That's super cool. Yeah, that place was a lot of fun, man. A lot of room. It's a nice place. They got a jukebox and shit in there. It was a good time.
Yeah,
I'm sure Joey Vinci.
Yeah,
go ahead,
Joey Vincent Martini and his brother own it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He's going to be feeling it after the match. He'll probably be in there pouring some drinks. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, it's a fun time. Don't miss out on this Saturday. It's going to be a great time. And then we start the road to Hell on Earth. Already signed for that, Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, big announcement.
I would like to hit that 20th anniversary number when we return to the Globe. Like we talked about before, it was a little down at Absolution, but I think that at Hell on Earth Black Friday we can get that number back up. I did sign, a little spoiler alert, somebody from the J-Lit lineup will be coming back at Hell on Earth. I'm not going to say who it is though.
No spoilers.
But at least one person is coming back for Hell on Earth on top of Tommy Dreamer.
That's a long list of who it could be, too. It's not like you could hone in on, it's got to be this person. There was a handful of, big names on that one.
Then we're going to the Royal Palace in Akron for our new, hopefully, Akron home. Huge announcement coming on who signed for that. Coming up on Patreon. That show is certainly for sure going to sell out because it's much smaller than the Shrine, so we have a hard cap on tickets there. And
yeah, the name alone.
Yeah, it's gonna. Sure. I mean, I'm pretty confident.
Yeah,
and just announced on Patreon, we will be returning to the Roxy on December 12th for Cultivate, which Dom is going to want to get on here. We talked about it over the weekend and do a deep dive into Cultivate. But essentially, we're going to start, hopefully, if it does well, adding more shows to focus on talent coming out of the school, debuting new talent coming out of the school, and taking a look at up and coming indie wrestlers that might not be able to get on a regular AIW lineup. So we're going to start doing shows to cultivate new talent. So Cultivate 1 is going to be December 12th at the Roxy. It's going to be a cheaper ticket, cheaper front row, cheaper second row, cheaper GA. If it does well, we're going to do more. It's an experiment on December 12th to see if it'll work. It's we need a proof of concept on it, but we've realized that it's harder and harder to streamline people from the school to getting in front of crowds with just how the roster is right now.
Yeah.
So we're going to create a new space for those people, and you're going to see people that are maybe, sometimes on shows, sometimes not on shows, sometimes on free views, sometimes not on free views, kind of like those talents that are been working but have not found like their footing, for an all the time roster person. They're going to be the focus of Cultivate. So, means potentially more shows in 2026, but those shows will be cheaper, and you're going to see different talent for the most part. If like your quote unquote AIW always roster people, you're not going to see a lot of them on Cultivate shows. So we're going to kind of separate things a little bit, and you're not going to see, your Eric Taylors and things like that maybe on Cultivate, but you're going to see all kinds of different people on Cultivate. It's going to be maybe less people that you're familiar with, but fresh faces, and we're going to try to make it exciting, and give people a place to wrestle.
And that's not to say, too, that you would maybe never see a guy like Eric Taylor on a Cultivate or something like that. Maybe a main event here or there. He could be taking someone out or something, maybe a one-off. But it's not a name or some of these bigger names you're going to see on every Cultivate. You know what I mean? You may see some bigger names here or there in some of the main events or yada, yada. But it's not going to be, like you're saying, in every, kind of time thing. They would be rare appearances, type deal.
Right. And like you're going to see maybe less big names on a Cultivate show, or like big meet and greets and things like that. This is going to be really focused on, young up and coming talent for the most part. You may get a veteran on there here and there, but we're just trying to create this new space and create a platform for people. And it's really kind of sink or swim, like if these talents want to make it work, we got to fill this building on December 12th. And if fans want to see more stuff like this, we got to fill this building on December 12th. It's a concept. It's not a direction, so a concept can go away. But we're going to try it. It's worth trying. We have a lot of people in the school right now, and we have nowhere for them to wrestle. So we're going to give it a shot and see if it works. But it's probably going to be at least 3 brand new AIW graduates, at least, making their debut on December 12th.
That's exciting. But I think it bears to be said too, it's obviously this is, kind of on the fans. If you want to see something like this, you got to show up and attend. This is also ultimately on some of these wrestlers too. You're going to have to promote yourself. This is where you're going to learn to, promote yourself, put yourself out there, and get your fans and your supporters to come out and see it, because it's at the Roxy, right, I believe?
Yeah, it's at the Roxy, December 12th.
Yeah, so it's going to mean, some cheaper ticket prices, some, lower, I should say lower ticket prices, because I think our tickets are already pretty cheap, but lower ticket prices on shows like this and stuff like that. So it's going to be on the fans, it's going to be on the wrestlers to get people out to this building to, to make this successful.
Right.
I'm excited for Cultivate.
Yeah, it's been something that's been in the development stages for a while. And we were just kind of looking at dates and where to fit it in and different venues. And I really like the Roxy. I want to keep that relationship, thriving. So we thought, let's finally put it on the books. Let's try it here at the Roxy December 12th. And, like I said, we're going to get a little bit more into it, maybe with a podcast with Dom coming up. He wants to kind of deep dive in it. But yeah, I'm excited for that. So, new date added, December 12th. So we have 4 left for the year. And then, who knows? Hopefully we got shows next year, right?
Yeah, I believe we'll be back. I'm holding some dates open for you just in case. Excuse me. But yeah, lots of exciting stuff coming from AIW. Anything? We didn't put any questions out. We were kind of flying by the seat of our pants this afternoon, so we didn't do questions to the
questions
Discord,
next week.
Yeah, get your questions in for next week. If you have questions about Cultivate or questions for Dom, him and I are going to be getting together here soon and doing a pod, so get your questions in for that. Anything else you want to get to before we get out of here, Thornton?
What are you guys doing, card pods?
No, I just think we're gonna either do it over the Zoom like we're doing through here, or just get together and record something.
I thought you were saying that you guys are starting your own podcast. I was gonna say, fuck.
No, I wish I had time for that.
Good luck, Dom. He's never gonna remember to tell you about it.
It's my fault. I told you. I know. I'm the worst. But we will be getting together for the Cultivate. We'll get something together for that. So, anything before you want to get out of here?
No, let's sell the rest of those general admission tickets this Saturday.
All right, we'll see everybody this Saturday at Penguin City Brewing, Youngstown. And if you haven't yet, get those tickets for Hell on Earth. Those are going fast. So, yeah, we'll see everybody this Saturday. For myself, for John Thorne, for everybody at AIW, we'll see you guys at Penguin City this Saturday. See ya.
Thanks.